What is up, everybody? I hope you're having a wonderful day. Much like the Juggernaut I talked about previously, the Hoplite is another amazing class I feel people either sleep on or they just don't realize what it can do. The Hoplite is even more unique than the Juggernaut and might not be for everybody due to some of the things it can do, but it does one thing that I don't think any other class can do in the game, and that is 1v1 a boss. The Hoplite can almost single-handedly 1v1 those powered-up bosses that have all the buff cards. Well, maybe not in this game with all the buff cards because they kind of cheat a little bit with that. But in the PSP version, it could easily do it because they didn't have the buff cards. But you can still do it here. I've done it, to a degree. You might have to have one little unit supporting them. Maybe you might have to pop a heal in between, hits from the boss. But you can 1v1 a boss very effectively. Now, you might be saying, well, how can you 1v1 something that has easily 5 times the hit points you do? Well, maybe not 5 times, I might be exaggerating there, but has huge defenses and at least a good double to triple the hit points you do, and has all these buff cards that make it even more tanky and hit harder. Well, the weapon selection is, it's pretty nice. It's always nice to have at least a crossbow or a bow option. And then, we got hammers, which are good, spears, one-handed sword. It is what it is, it's great. Steadfast, if you really want to do pincer attack, in the standard. We even have Rampart Aura, which is pretty interesting to have on this class. And then we got the bread and butter, the 3 unique skills. Now, these are where you're going to get your 1v1 bossing from. First off, we have Evade, which grants Nullify to completely avoid the next physical attack. So, basically this procs your 1v1 in the boss. Well, it don't matter how hard he's going to hit you next, he ain't going to hit you. So, that's huge. And then we have Apostate, render the unit immune up to 3 magic effects. So, say you are fighting a boss that's a caster. Well, he ain't going to hit you, and nor are his buddies that are nearby. They're not going to hit you either that are casting. So, you can nullify physical and nullify magic, which is huge for survivability, because if you did both of these in one turn, you gotta figure you're getting hit for, 300 to 400 damage, maybe even more. I mean, your hit points are only 1374. If you absorb each of these, you're practically absorbing your total health pool, so you're effectively doubling your health by having these go off, because of the damage you would take. And then we also have Stop, which I'm a fan of Stop. I'm going to be honest. I kind of might have a bias towards Stop. But Stop is very good just to have on as well. So, top that off with some of the great spear finishers. And, you got some power here. Plus the spear with having the range. You could be 1 square away from the boss or whatever it is. Or hit 2 enemies. Which isn't really a big deal because these just proc on you. You probably want to be as close to him as possible to get the Stop if you're going to run that. You could easily take Stop off and put something else on. You could even add more HP to give the Hoplite a little more tankiness. Take an extra hit or 2 maybe. Well, at least another hit. And then we could put Steadfast on if you're worried about falling off. But you can get boots and stuff or the equipment to remove that. So, I mean, you don't really have to do that. But if you don't have access to the gear, definitely getting that will help. And overall, it's just a class that really can dominate a lot of the harder bosses and a lot of the more struggles. I mean, you can get a Hoplite. I know this is crazy, but you can get a Hoplite in Chapter 2 if you are lucky and you try and everything aligns to you. And if you have a Hoplite that early, you don't have... I know you'll have Rapier Glance. I don't think you'll have Evade. I think Evade's learned around level 30. You might have Apostate 1 around level 30 as well. One of these you get around 20, 25. And then one of them's later. So you won't be able to fully take advantage of the power. So that's why even though you get them early, it's not like it's going to make some bosses trivial or easier. But once you're 35, I think you'll have both of these for sure. 30 or 35, you'll have both. And then you can start kind of messing up some bosses and doing some work. But overall, like the Juggernaut, it is one of the classes that I feel many people sleep on. They don't use. The birds agree. They're sick of you only using human classes. They want you to use non-humans as well and beasties because, the bird overlords, they demand what they demand. So, I mean, that's just how it is. But all in all, you know, I just wanted to help people out in case, you know, they're unaware of what this class is capable of. If you have any, you know, thoughts or opinions, you think the Hoplite's good, bad, something's better than it, let me know. I would love to hear your input. You know, have a nice little discussion. Maybe I'm overlooking another class that does what the Hoplite does even better. You know, I mean, I could be. I'm not an all-seeing, you know, I don't know everything. So thank you all for watching so much. I do appreciate it, and I hope to see you in the next one. Until then, later, guys. Peace out. Have a good one.